Hello.
Hi, Sid. How you doing?
Great man, great man. Good to. Yeah, I think this is our first chat on a Saturday after so long. You do realize we've had like three chats on a Sunday and then back to our normal tradition.
Yeah, I think there was a lot going around, eh? A lot going around on the Saturday, so we didn't get a chance. So yeah, good to be back on a Saturday.
That's Yeah, it's okay. All right, let's get back to the grind. All right, the first test between Australia and Pakistan. Your quick thoughts on that? I know we've had a lot of talk on this one on WhatsApp, so your summary of it.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, I thought the pitch was really poor. I mean, it wasn't a balance between bat and ball. It was highly in favor of the batters, and I mean, predictable result in the end with a draw and a very high scoring draw as well. I mean, uh, it really it was a pitch that I don't think anybody expected for this first test because there was so
Hmm.
much of expectation in going into the series from everybody, from both sides of the camp, from neutrals. I mean, we wanted to see
Hmm.
a result, and unfortunately, we didn't get one.
Hmm.
However, I did speak to you off air about it. Probably, maybe the strategy of Pakistan trying to wear the Australian bowlers down uh, could help them later on in the series, but that's only provided if the other pitches are a little more spotty because
Hmm.
it was really, really docile, really dead for the bowlers.
Hmm.
And I think if you were a bowler, you'd probably want to get injured than rather bowling on that wicket because it was 5 days of real grind.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
yeah, I mean,
Outsporting us. Yeah,
one
man. Yeah.
one of
Yeah. Hmm.
one of the
Hmm.
worst Test match wickets I've seen in a while. Really, one of the worst.
Yeah, I mean, it was rated below average. I thought they were really lucky. I mean, fine, no one got hurt, but the spectators got hurt. That's for sure. Gosh, man, if I had to watch that
I mean,
from
it's depending. It's
out,
depending which side of the fence.
pardon,
I mean, the
pardon.
Pakistanis probably they would have enjoyed it. The Pakistani spectators would have enjoyed it a bit with
But
seeing their
even there,
side scoring
oh,
that many runs. But
think so
I
because
think the result
after like, yeah, yeah.
takes the
Mm.
result out of the way, out of question. Yeah, and that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a draw. So I mean,
Mm.
there were a lot of batsmen and scored. I think the Pakistan they were really really impressive in both innings, especially Imam. He scored two centuries in this Test match, and I thought he looked very composed at the wicket. Albeit, I mean, the ball wasn't doing much, to be honest with
Mm.
you,
Mm.
and I'm not sure, but I think this is a trend going to the second Test as well because this is exactly what we actually see in the second Test currently as well.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I think Imam ul Haq got man of the match, so happy for him. It was a shame that 70
I
overs
mean,
did get lost due to bad light, but who knows what the result would have been. I mean, at least the Pakistan bowlers got 10 wickets on that heartless pitch. But I know Ramiz Raja did mention something interesting. Pakistan going to the test match were kind of depleted. So in that sense, I get why the pitch was created like that to kind of spare Pakistan the embarrassment of losing. Because had that pitch been really for the paceman, I think Australia would probably want because Pakistan didn't have that much. But I would have thought, why not have a spinning track? I mean, Pakistan do have better spinners, so they could have probably. But then I guess they were scared that Lyon is world class, and if you think about it, if it is gonna be dry, the paceman will get some reversal. It's a difficult one to understand.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, if the pitch had a little bit more bite in it, I think it would have been a really, really competitive game, and one that the spectators would have relished.
Maybe, but Pakistan.
I mean, if I look at it from this angle, I would say, you know, it would have brought the Pakistani bowlers into it as well because, I mean, that uneven bounce and the spinners would have got good purchase as well. But I mean, they took 10 wickets, but I mean, you got to look at the duration. It took them to take those 10 wickets as well. I mean, it really didn't constitute a game as such in a way. The result, I mean, there was too less time. But I mean, looking at that 70 overs that lost, I don't really think we should read into it. I still feel it was going to be difficult to force a result because, I mean, whatever Pakistan got, Australia would have came out. They probably would have batted cautiously, and you know the game would have, you know, petered into a draw, and that's exactly what we saw. So, I mean, I don't read too much into that 70 overs being lost.
Okay.
I think it's more about the pitch, and I think the pitch was too much in favor in terms of run scoring, and there wasn't much assistance to the bowlers. So that is what we have to speak about, and I'm just hoping the next two tests are not in the same vein because the second test hasn't started off too well. Looking at the run rate and looking at the scoring, and I mean, let's hope for a much more even contest.
Yeah, I mean, the second test is Australia at 251 for 3. Khawaja is in a great form, another century. I mean, he made 120.
Khawaja is at the moment.
Pardon?
Khawaja is in the form of his life at the moment, so I mean, he's really look quite flat to me. But I mean, Smith got in, and I think Warner got in as well. So I mean, everybody got in except for I think Labuschagne. He got run out, but I mean, everybody got in. So this pitch is looking. I mean, I don't want to call it, but I mean, if Australia get 500 on this, and Pakistan get 450, then we back to square one. No doubt about it.
Yeah, commentators had mentioned from days 3 and beyond, the pitch does break up a bit more. So hoping for that really soon because I really want to go to sleep for these 2 days. Although you never know if Pakistan can bowl them out tomorrow quickly, although that's looking unlikely. But I think Australia, if they can post 500 and if the pitch does wear down, it could be Australia's to win it. So it could be fun and games. Maybe your prediction of 1-all could happen. Because I think Pakistan will be desperate. Should they lose this test match, they'll have to have a sporting pitch. They'll have no choice. And definitely just have a turner. Even if you make one of those Nagpur pitches or whatever, Ahmedabad pitch, whatever, get it done.
And I also think Pakistani's bowling attack is looking a little bit better in this game because you've got Hassan Ali back, you've got Fahim back. So I think the bowling attack is looking a little bit better. So I mean, they Australia could lose early wickets tomorrow, and we're looking at a different game here. So, I mean, all possibilities are still available. I think Australia, they batted cautiously today. I would think so, to obviously get that platform. So tomorrow is really where this game, this test match is gonna tell you as to where the result is going to be landing and who's going to be landing the killer punch. Because I mean, if Australia double the score tomorrow, effectively they are in charge of this test match, and Pakistan would pressure. I no doubt about it. I think batting second and with a deficit of 500 is really going to have that sort of pressure on you. So it's going to be interesting. I think the Australian bowlers would if they get 450, 500 on this wicket, they're going to come out fighting. But I also expect the Pakistan to bat well. In this test match. So yeah, it could be good fun, and I just hope we get a result.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see the pitch break down at least from the third day onwards because I can't go through another sleep fest, man. That's just not nice. Yeah, and speaking of sleep fests, speaking of a sleep fest, this first test, England and West Indies, I think bad light is kind of sabotaging this test because it was looking promising. I mean, unless if England really bats super fast today, I think this is looking like another draw. It's too many draws. Well, obviously too many. I mean, draws are not happening that much in Test cricket, so to have another one in a row was a bit weird.
Yeah, I mean, draws in test matches were a thing of the past if you look at it. I mean, there were so many sporting pitches going around the world, and this was something that was so far-fetched. But I mean, all of a sudden we're getting these flat wickets because I mean, it's time that teams are looking at trying to get their batters into form again. But I mean, that's a debate. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think this test match was a little bit more balanced in a way. I think they were really, you could have really got a result. But unfortunately, bad light and the weather has been havoc. And to be unfair, I think it's been a really even contest. It's been a real even contest between batter and ball in this game. I think England, in a way, they probably would have liked to have gotten more in that first innings. They got 311. I mean, it's not a bad score in Test match cricket. Bad score at all. But I think letting West Indies get that lead, which was frustrating for them, I feel, because they obviously wanted to bowl the Windies out prior before getting any sort of lead. So that sort of lead was very frustrating for them. But we've seen some great knocks in this game. I have to be honest. I mean, Bairstow's knock was superb. And then you had Bonner for the Windies. I thought his 100 was superb as well. Although it was a bit on a slow side, but I mean, I think it was timed to perfection. And they did what they had to do to get a lead. And you know, England have got to do all the you know, the running today, and they've got to try and get that lead. So I think 250, 270 would be quite interesting. So it all depends on how quick they do bat. But I would actually like to see a result in this game. But however, it's going to be a bit far-fetched now. West Indies have got to go really badly to lose this one, and I mean the weather is not playing its part as well. So yeah, I mean it's looking like another draw. But I think England. I think England will take a lot of this game.
Yeah.
Because I mean, coming in to the series, their batting was quite atrocious, especially catches. So I think there's a few batters that have got into form. I think Crawley, his 100 was superb. I saw last night. And I mean, the captain, he's still scoring runs, and he's supporting Crawley there. That's a massive partnership. So, yeah, I think from a batting point of view, I think England they're looking at in much better shape than they were in the Ashes when they couldn't get past 300. So, I think from that sense, they probably see this Test match as a positive. But if they don't lose, if they don't win, then it's going to be a failure. So they got to come back hard in this next two matches as well. So yeah, I mean 3 Test matches to go, so all to play for. So I mean this series is still alive. It could go either way.
Yeah, I mean I think they're playing 3 tests, right? So this is the first one, which means if it's a draw, then both teams get to start all over again. And then I'm just thinking with the rain, could you think it could spice up the pitch, make it interesting for England, bowl at the West Indies, setting them 250? Anything can happen if that pitch gets a bit spicy.
It could, hey? It could. It definitely could bring the seamers into the game. But I think they would have loved to have had Anderson and Broad. Yeah. And I think that's a bit of a puzzling thing as to why one of them were not selected for this. Well, for this Test match and for the series, they're probably looking at their workload and probably want to manage them properly. So there is some thinking behind it, but I still think, points on the board is really important in this World Test Championship. So I think they should have just went for experience, because the bowling attack is looking a bit inexperienced if you look at it and the number of. So yeah, it was very, very puzzling to have your two experienced two experienced bowlers are on the sidelines. I mean, over 1,000 test wickets. I mean, that's really a no-brainer. You know, you got to play them, or you got to play one of them. You know.
Yeah, as I've said, England doing geometrics to the cricket team. They're not doing algebra. Much more simple. Yeah, man.
I guess there's a lack of confidence. I guess it comes down to lack of confidence. When you have a team that's struggling and not winning too many test matches, you tend to change, sort of combinations, and in a way, it's not always a good thing, because I think sometimes you've got to back these players, and you got to back them to come good at some point. And I think say this geometry way of managing the side, and they really are complicating things. So they put a lot of focus on white ball cricket, and unfortunately the red ball is suffering at the moment. So I think they've just got to back these players. That's the most important thing. Back your players and back them to become good at something.
But also, to be honest, this pitch, in a way, it's a bit disappointing. I was hoping for it to have a lot more spice. I was hoping the ball to have a lot more fizz. So maybe West Indies don't have belief in themselves to create such a... Well, I mean, it's not the worst pitch I've seen, but it's a bit... I don't know. We'll see how it goes today. Hopefully something happens here.
It's definitely not as bad as the one in Rawalpindi. It's definitely not as bad as the one in Rawalpindi that we've seen so far. But I think both bowling attacks are lacking a bit of zip to get that to manage to get in front of this game, because both bowling attacks, I feel they bowled okay. They bowled okay. I don't think they bowled well enough. And that's the reason why we're getting a sort of a ding dong battle where the batsmen are cancelling each other out, because it seems like we've got two bowling attacks here that can't actually take 20 wickets and win a test match.
Yeah. I mean, so far, 20 wickets have been taken from first to second innings. Just this third innings is a bit of a problem. But hopefully England bat fast. We get a, exciting chase. We'll see what happens today. And then we get to the last segment, is India and the West Indies. Now, this is what you call a meaty ball, a type of pitch. India bowled for 252 all out. I think you did call on Sri Lanka to be competitive because of the pink ball test. I know India batted first, so they wanted to bat first. But I think this total is quite good, 252. I was hoping they get to 300 to make it really... But I think it's still enough if India bowl well on it.
Yeah, I think it's a much improved bowling performance from Sri Lanka, but I think the pink ball has assisted as well, and conditions. But I think they had still talking to in that first test, and completely outplayed. So they had to go back to the drawing board. They had to go back to the basics, and I think they've done that to an extent. They could have got India out for much less, I feel. There were a few partnerships in the end. The tail was wagging a bit. So I think that's why we seeing this score of 250. But 250 in a day-night test match is quite a tricky score, especially in India, because I don't know what happened last year with that day-night test match. We ended in a day and a half. I'm hoping this one doesn't go the same way, but I don't think it will, because India batted quite a while today. So it's going to be interesting, and I'm hoping for Sri Lanka to actually show us what they're capable of, because we haven't seen them play to their potential in their first test, and I think they're a lot more competitive when they do play to their strengths. So India are still favourites, but I do think Sri Lanka can punch above their weight in this game.
Yeah, man. It'd be nice to see India bowling on this pitch because, I think India will have the advantage. It's night time, so the ball is a lot more. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think the spinners are really going to play a big part here, and they could wreak havoc. So I think Sri Lanka have got to watch how they play spin. They've got to really knuckle down and really frustrate this Indian spin attack and the spin duo of Ashwin and Jadeja, because they there is a possibility that they can wreak havoc in that side. Yeah, I mean, partnerships are the key at the moment. Partnerships are the key. That is what wins you test matches, and that's what gets you, foothold into the game. So they didn't get that in the first. They were completely outplayed by a clinical Indian side. So they've got to show that they belong in Test cricket. There are some talented players in the Sri Lanka side, but they're just not. They're just not showing their potential at the moment. There, and I feel if they could win this Test match, I mean, wow, this could really go a long way for them in the future.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about South Africa versus Bangladesh, man. They're starting this Friday. 3 ODIs. And I expect us to win 3-0. Anything less than that will be pretty... Okay, I'm okay with us beating Bangladesh 2-1 in ODI, but in Test cricket, just 2-0. I know the Tests are a long way to go, but that's pretty much how I feel about it.
I think you pretty much summed it up, eh? I think the Proteas would not be happy with anything less than 3-0. But I think the good thing was, I looked at the article prior to this, and most of the IPL players are going to be available for that ODI side. So you have quite a strong Protea lineup against Bangladesh. And I mean, if that India series is anything to go by, I think they should win this one 3-0, barring some sort of, mishap taking place. And the tests are really going to be very important as well. I mean, it's very important that they do win that Test series and win it quite convincingly as well. Because, I mean, you're looking at the World Test Championship points I forgot, and then the World Cup Super League as well. Because I think the ODI series is going to be a World Cup Super League points as well. So I mean, there's so much cricket anymore. There is no dead rubbers anymore. Every game has some sort of resemblance, and I think that's sort of an amazing thing to have in cricket, because I know you used to have this prior to that where it didn't count for much, but now it counts for so much. So it's going to be important for the Proteas to win this ODI series and Test series quite clinically, and keep on moving up those rankings, because I mean the goal is to be number one again. The goal is to be number one in Test and ODIs, and what better start than this series? And I mean, they've already showed enough promise this summer. I think it's been a great summer for the so far. I mean, the India series went well, and the tour of New Zealand went well as well. I mean, 1-1 against that team at the moment is quite a good result. So I mean, if they beat Bangladesh by a clean sweep, this could be a perfect summer, and I mean, it's going to give them a lot of confidence. And I do believe this side has the makings of a very formidable side in the future.
Yeah, I was just thinking, if we can beat Bangladesh 2-0, and then if England lose to West Indies, imagine going to England when England's really in the dumps. Be a good chance to have a bit of revenge on them,
I think you gotta target that series irrespective. I think that series in England, it's gonna be a huge series, and I think if you wanna challenge for that World Test Championship, you've got to go there and you got to get it done. And I think the Proteas have a decent chance. As you said, this England side, they do play well at home. However, we've got to give them credit for that. But I think there is a glimmer of hope for the Proteas going to England, and if they win that series, then they really, really will be in the running for that World Test Championship spot.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, before we end off, we're getting to your favorite team in the IPL, the Put du Plessis captain. How do you feel about that? I kind of expected it, actually, because they bidded for him so heavy, so I'm sure they wanted his captaincy and his batting. I know Cody's happy for him. I think they're good friends, so it works out well.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's a fantastic selection. I think he deserves it in a way. And I think Faf is a great tactician, and we've seen it at international level as well. So I think he's going to add a lot of value to the side with the bat and with his captaincy as well, because he's a very proactive captain. So yeah, I'm expecting big things from him, eh? And RCB,
Yeah.
go RCB.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking he could break this deadlock for RCB, as much as I shouldn't say that because I'm a diehard KKR fan and I like Mumbai, but I can see RCB maybe breaking their jinx this year. Your team is very strong. Mumbai's team is more average compared to previous teams. KKR will always be competitive, but we can always save this debate for another time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting IPL, and we got a new format as well. So yeah, very, very interesting.
Before I let you go, what's your thoughts on the format? Some people I know weren't happy with the format, but I think it's okay. I mean, it is what it is. At least IPL will be in India, so that's a good thing.
I think the format actually, asks you as a team, to play your best game. You gotta play your best game, consistently. And if you want to make those playoffs, you've got to be at your best every game, because there's not going to be any let-ups. Because I think the older format, they probably left room for failure here and there, and then you could obviously creep up. Because I mean, you saw with KKR, they had such a horrible first leg, and then the second leg they were a different side. But I think this format is really gonna test you. You're gonna force you to play your best game every game, and yeah, may the best team win.
Yeah, man. Okay. Any final word on your side, or are we like pretty much wrapped up?
Yeah, I mean, the Women's World Cup is actually taking place at the moment. So look, it's been quite interesting so far. Hey, I mean, the England were one of the favorites for this tournament, and they've only lost their first two games against Australia. I mean, Australia are a strong side, no doubt about it, and they lost to the West Indies. So, I mean, West Indies got crushed today by India, and the Proteas are actually riding high. So at the moment, the momentum Proteas, they won 2 out of 2, but I think there's stronger tests to come, because I don't. Their bowling has been quite superb so far, but I think their batting, they need to up it up. They need to get those big scores going. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So who do you think are the favorites? That one.
Oh, sorry. What was the last portion? I didn't get that ending part. The favorites between who?
Sorry, who do you think are the favorites for the World Cup, the Women's World Cup?
Oh. Honestly, I don't follow much of the Women's World Cup, but I always know Australia are good, New Zealand are good, England are good. I think Women's World Cup is unpredictable, because I know West Indies won those World Cups, like the T20 World Cup. So have they ever won a 50-over World Cup? No, I know the.
Look, I think you're right in that sense, that the winner has been quite predictable over a period of time. It's really been between England and Australia for a while. So I think it'll be nice to keep going. But I do feel the reason why Australia are probably right at the top of the rankings, they play a lot more cricket than most of the other sides as well, especially in the women's game. So yeah, I mean, I've watched. I haven't watched a lot of it. I've watched glimpses of it, but it's been quite interesting. But it's been quite interesting. I mean, these low-scoring games have been quite interesting.
Yeah, it reminds me of the good old days when the males used to have those types of games. Now it's all flat and boring.
Absolutely.
Shame. No, I shouldn't say that. I mean, as long as the spectators enjoy it, that's the main thing. But what was I going to say? I think the T20 for the women is more exciting than the 50 overs. 50 overs is just too predictable. But you never know. Hopefully, we could win it, or India could win it. India did win big today, so you never know. Yeah, but anyway, that's how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, India are one of the front runners as well there, but. Yeah, as you say, it's really unpredictable.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your time. We shall catch up and hoping for some better results on the cricket front. In terms of how the pitches play out. I mean, the teams are good, just that the pitches need to be better, hey?
Absolutely. We're asking for better pitches and more results. When we don't want to see too many draws because draws are really a snowfest at the moment.
Yeah, man, and Test cricket is dying, especially when you have these types of pitches. It must not happen. I mean, Test cricket was starting to be exciting. Even now, yeah, even now, starting to enjoy Test cricket after a while. Yeah,
we
I
need
like all the
to be alive. We need good pitches.
Yeah, I mean, fine. I do see. I was feeling sorry for the batsmen, when I was seeing all these spicy meatball pitches. But after seeing these pitches in Pakistan, I'm okay with these spicy meatball pitches again.
I think the New Zealand series was really good pitches. I think
definitely outstanding. Yeah, I think we were a charity case in that first test. I don't think the pitch was that bad. Even when I saw the highlights, fine, New Zealand bowled well, but those pitches weren't that bad. Come on, 100 all out, 90 all out, but anyway, that's history now. I'm happy we drew the series, and that's how it goes.
It's all history. I think jet lag had a lot to do with that. So I think we should just keep that in.
Yeah. Okay, man. I shall check you on the other side.
Cheers, Sid. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and chat to you soon.
Sure, man.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.